Today class we discuss data link layer, sublayer in the data link layer. So here the sublayers in the data link layer are logical link control and media access control, LLC and MAC. These two are the sublayers in the data link layer. So here logical link control deals with protocols, flow control and error control. And second one, media access control. So this deals with the actual control of media. Here LLC deals with protocols, flow control and error control. And media access control deals with actual control of media. So here first one, LLC sublayer. Here LLC sublayer is the uppermost sublayer of the data link layer. Here the uppermost sublayer of the data link layer is the LLC sublayer. So this is running at the top of the data link layer and provides flow control, acknowledgement and error notification. Here LLC provides the addressing and control of the data link. Here logical link control provides the addressing and control of data link. And here LLC provides flow control, acknowledgement and error notification. And second sublayer, that is here unit 4, that is MAC sublayer. Here MAC sublayer refers to the sublayer that determines who is allowed to access the media at any one time. Here MAC sublayer determines who is allowed to access the channel, who is allowed to access the media at any one time. Example CSMA/CD. Other times it refers to the frame structure delivered based on MAC address inside. So this MAC sublayer also determines where one frame of data ends and another frame starts. That is frame synchronization. Here MAC sublayer determines where one frame of data ends and other frame, next frame starts. Okay, suppose it tells about frame 1, where frame 1 ends and where frame 2 starts. That is frame synchronization. So these are the two sublayers in the data link layer, LLC sublayer, MAC sublayer. Here LLC sublayer deals with protocols, flow control and error control. And second one, MAC sublayer. Here MAC sublayer deals with actual content of the media. Next one here, channel allocation. So there are two types of channel allocation, static channel allocation and second one, dynamic channel allocation. Here static channel allocation is a traditional method of channel allocation in which a fixed portion of fixed frequency channel is allotted to each user who may be base station or access point or any terminal equipment. A fixed channel allocation. In this, a fixed portion of frequency channel is allotted to one user. Your channel allocation is fixed. That's why it is also called as fixed channel allocation. Okay, suppose one channel is allocated to user is fixed. Next, second one, dynamic channel allocation. Here, when there are more than one user who desire to access a shared network channel, an algorithm is deployed for the channel allocation among the competing users. So here, dynamic channel allocation encompasses the channel allocation schemes here, where channels are allotted to users dynamically as per the requirements from a central pool. Here in dynamic channel allocation, channels are allotted to users dynamically as per the requirement. So these are the two types of allocation, channel allocation and dynamic channel allocation. Here, these are the differences between static channel allocation and dynamic channel allocation. So static channel allocation, fixed number of channels are allotted. Dynamic channel allocation, channels to be allotted are not fixed initially. Next difference, if all channels are occupied, then user call is blocked. Suppose channel is allocated to all the users 1, 2, 3, 4. If user 5 wants to access the channel, that user 5 call is blocked. In dynamic channel allocation, if all channels are blocked, Then base station requires more channels from the mobile station center. Here base station means it transmits and receives user data in cellular network to customer phones. Here base station transmits and receives user data in cellular network to customer phones and cellular devices. Next, mobile switching center or mobile station center. Here it is a telephone exchange. Here mobile station center is a telephone exchange that is actually used to make the connection between mobile users within the network. And there is no need of algorithm in static channel allocation, no need of complex algorithm in static channel allocation. And in dynamic channel allocation, we need algorithm to determine efficient channel availability. And in static channel allocation, mobile station center has less burden. And in dynamic channel allocation, mobile station center has the responsibility. Okay, why? Because here in dynamic channel allocation, if all channels are blocked, then the base station requires more channels from the mobile station center. So that's why here mobile station center has a more responsibility when compared to static channel allocation. Next one here, assumptions for dynamic channel allocation. So the key assumptions of dynamic channel allocation are independent traffic, single channel, detectable collisions, continuous time or slotted time, last one carrier sense or no carrier sense. So here first one independent traffic. So here it is assumed that users are independent of each other. That is, each user has to send or receive data which is independent of data transmission of other users in the network. Here, independent traffic means one user is independent of the other user. Independent traffic, here users are independent of each other. That is, each user has to send or receive data which is independent of transmission of other users in the network. That is, one user is independent of another user. Once the user generates a frame for transmission, that station is blocked until the frame has been successfully transmitted. Next, second one, single channel. That is, here the algorithms assume that all contending stations request for transmission via single channel. Next one, detectable collisions. That is, if two frames from two stations are simultaneously transmitted, then collision said to be occur. If a collision occur, all stations should be able to detect the collision. Here, two frames from two stations are simultaneously transmitted. Then the collision is said to be occur. If a collision occur, all stations should be able to detect the collision. Okay, here the frames lost due to collision are retransmitted once again. Next one, continuous time or slotted time. Fourth assumption is continuous time or slotted time. So depending upon the allocation scheme, the time may be considered as continuous or slotted. So if allocation scheme is pure aloha, then it is continuous. If allocation scheme is slotted aloha, then it is slotted time. Pure aloha, continuous time, slotted aloha, slotted time. Next, last assumption is carrier sense or no carrier sense. So here the stations may or may not be capable of detecting whether the channel is in use before sending the frames. So carrier sense. So here the station sends the carrier before transmitting the data, whether it is an idle or busy. No carrier sense means here the station does not sense the channel before transmitting the data. So here no carrier sense. The station does not sense the carrier before transmitting the data. Okay. So if any error found, that is only after transmission. After transmission only, here we find that whether there is an error or not, whether there is collision or not. Next one, aloha. Next topic, Aloha. So here Aloha is a multiple access protocol for transmission of data via shared network channel. Here Aloha is a multiple access protocol for transmission of data via shared network channel. So here Aloha operates in the MAC sublayer of OSI model. Aloha operates in the MAC sublayer of the data link layer of OSI model. So here two types of Aloha, pure Aloha and slotted Aloha. Here in pure Aloha, the time of the transmission is continuous. In pure Aloha, the time of the transmission is continuous. Whenever a station has an available frame, it sends the frame. Whenever station has a frame, it sends the frame. If there is a collision and the frame is destroyed, if there is a collision, then the frame is destroyed. And sender wait for some random amount of time before retransmitting it. So here in pure Aloha, when the station has an available frame, it sends the frame. If there is a collision, the frame is destroyed and the sender waits for some random amount of time and retransmits that frame once again. See here frame 1.2, frame 2.1, frame 3.1, frame 4.1 are transmitting at the same time. So the collision occur. So here station 1 retransmits the 1.2, station 2 retransmits the 2.1 and station 3 retransmits the 3.1, station 4 retransmits the 4.1. Okay. So here station 1 sends the frame 1.2. So station 2 sends the frame 2.1 at the same time. So the collision occurred. So here station 1 wait for some random amount of time and once again retransmits the 1.2. Similarly, station 2 waits for random amount of time and retransmits the frame 2.1. So this is pure Aloha. Next one is slotted Aloha. So here slotted Aloha reduces the number of collisions and double the capacity of pure Aloha. So here also collisions occur, but when you compare it to pure Aloha, here collisions are less. So here the shared channel is divided into number of discrete time intervals called time slots. See here slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, slot 6. Okay. The time is divided into the slots 1 to 6. So here a station can transmit the frame only at the beginning of each time slot. Suppose here station 1 transmits frame 1.1 in the slot 1. Station 2 sends the frame 2.1 in the slot 2. And here station 3 sends the frame 3.1 in the slot 3. And in the slot 3, station 1 also sends the frame 1.2. So the collision occur. Okay. So here in slotted Aloha also there is a collision. Here frame 1.2 and frame 3.1 are transmitted at the same time slot 3. So the collision occur. So station 1 and station 3 have to retransmit these 1.2 and 3.1 frames. So this is about the slotted Aloha. And next maximum efficiency of pure Aloha is G into 2 power minus 2Z. Okay. Efficiency of pure Aloha is equal to G into e power minus 2Z. So the maximum efficiency of pure Aloha occurs at G equal to 1 by 2. So substitute this 1 by 2 value in the this above formula. So 1 by 2 into e power minus 2 into 1 by 2. So after calculation 18.4 percentage. The maximum efficiency of pure Aloha is 18.4. Next, efficiency of slotted Aloha is equal to G into minus G. Here efficiency of slotted Aloha is equal to G into e power minus G. So the maximum value of this efficiency of slotted Aloha occurs at G equal to 1. Substitute this value in the above formula. So after calculation 36.8 percentage is the maximum efficiency of slotted Aloha. Next one, CSMA, Carrier Sense Multiple Access Protocol. So here, this protocol is used to minimize the chances of collisions when you compare to Aloha. When you compare to CSMA with Aloha, there are less number of collisions in the CSMA, Carrier Sense Multiple Access Protocol. So here CSMA protocol is based on the carrier sense. That means the station senses the carrier or channel before transmitting a frame. Carrier sense. That means the station senses the carrier. Here carrier is nothing but channel before transmitting a frame. So here it means the station checks the state of channel, whether it is idle or busy. Here the station checks the state of channel, whether the channel is idle or channel is busy. So these are the different types of CSMA: one persistent CSMA, non-persistent CSMA, and p-persistent CSMA. Here one persistent CSMA. So in this method, station that wants to transmit data continuously senses the channel to check whether the channel is idle or busy. Here the station continuously senses the channel. If the channel is idle, station can transmit the frame. Here channel is idle means transmits the frame. If the channel is busy, so once again sends the channel. Okay. If the channel is busy, once again it senses the channel. So here one persistent CSMA, the station continuously senses the channel until it becomes idle. If the channel is idle, then the station transmits the frames. So this is about one persistent CSMA. That is here when a station detects an idle channel, it immediately transmits the frame with the probability 1. So that's why it is called one persistent CSMA. Next one, non-persistent CSMA. Here, if the channel is idle, station can transmit the data. If the channel is busy, here the station wait for some random amount of time, then only sends the channel. Okay. So in persistent CSMA, one persistent CSMA, the station does not wait any random amount of time. Here station continuously senses the channel if the channel is busy. But in non-persistent CSMA, here station waits some random amount of time, then only sends the channel. If the channel is busy, here station wait for some random amount of time, then only sends the channel. Here station sends the channel. If the channel is busy, wait for some random amount of time, then only sends the channel once again. And wait for some random amount of time, then once again sends the channel. If the channel is idle, then the station transfers the frame. Next one, p-persistent CSMA. So here the station continuously senses the channel. Okay, if the channel is idle, so it transfers the frame with the probability p. If the channel is idle, it transfers the frame with probability p. Here station can transfer the frame with the probability here p. Okay, if the probability is greater than p, here wait for time slot, then only sends the channel once again. So if the channel is idle means, so it transmits the frame with the probability p here. If the channel is idle, it transmits the probability with p. If the channel is busy, then it acts as collision occurred and once again start again. Okay. See here, station continuously senses the channel. Okay. So here probability outcome does not allow transmission means, so here is the probability greater than p, here wait for time slot. Okay. If the probability is p, station can transmit the frame. If the probability is greater than p, wait for time slot and once again sends the channel here. Then if the channel is idle, then it transfers the, it checks the probability, then it transfers the frame with the probability p. If the channel is busy, then it access through collision has occurred and start again. So this is the p-persistent CSMA. That is, station can transmit the frame with the probability p1. Next one, CSMA/CD. Carrier sends multiple access with collision detection. Carrier sends multiple access with collision detection. So it is a network protocol for carrier transmission that operates in the MAC sublayer. And here carrier sends multiple access with collision detection means it senses whether the shared channel is busy or not and defer transmission until the channel is free. So here the collision detection technology detects collision by sensing transmissions from other stations. Here the collision detection technology detects collisions by sensing transmissions from the other stations. So on the detection of collision, the station stops transmitting and sends a jam signal to the all other stations. Suppose station A sends the data, okay, and detects the collision. Then station A stops the transmitting and station A sends jump signal to all other stations B and C and D. Okay, that is here carrier sends multiple access with collision detection. Next one, CSMA/CA. Carrier sends multiple access with collision avoidance. So here CSMA/CA prevents collisions prior to their occurrence. So here CSMA/CA avoids the collision. That means there is no collision in the carrier sends multiple access with collision avoidance. And two protocols, collision-free protocols, bitmap protocol and binary countdown protocol. Here bitmap protocol, suppose in this example station 2 wants to send the data, so place bit 1 in the second slot. Okay, here we take the n contextual slot. So in this example n equal to 8, so 0 to 7, 8 slots. Suppose station 2 have to send the data, so place bit 1 in the this slot 2. Okay, so in this example stations 1, 4, 6, 7 have to transmit the frame, so place bit 1 in the slot 1, slot 4, slot 6 and slot 7. So this is the bitmap protocol. And next one, binary countdown. So here we first take the binary addresses of the different stations. See here 0001, 1001, 1100, 1011. So these are the four binary addresses of the four different stations. So next we take the MSB. So first bit here 0, here first bit is 1, and here first bit is 1, and here first bit is 1. So first bit means here most significant bit, MSB, high order bit. So these bits are OR together. That means 0 or 1, 1, 1 or 1, 1, 1 or 1, 1. So the result of OR operation is here 1. So whenever MSB is 1, so those stations are in the competition. Remaining are out of competition. See here, station 1 has the first bit 0. So station 1 gives up. That means station 1 out of competition. Only station 2, station 3, station 4 are in the competition. And next, we compare station 2, station 3, station 4. Next we take the second bit. So here second bit is 0, here second bit is 1, and here second bit is 0. So we perform OR operation 0 or 1, 1, 1 or 0, 1. So the result of OR operation is here 1. So only the stations with second bit 1, that is in the competition. See, that is only here station 3 will proceed. Station 2 and station 4 gives up. Okay, so out of 4 stations, first station 3 access the channel. So then remaining, that is 1, 2, 4. So out of 1, 2, 4. So we compare 2 and 4. See here, 2 is 1001 and 4 is 1011. Next we take the third bit. So station 2 third bit 0 and here station 4 third bit 1. So here station 4 proceed next. That is first station 3 access the channel, then station 4, then station 2, then last station 1. Okay. See here, if the result of our operation is 0 means, so the stations with bit 0 will access the channel first. Okay. So here the result of our operation in the both conditions 1. So that's why here we take, so whenever the bit is 1, that station only in the computation, remaining stations out of computation. So this is about binary countdown. Next one, limited contention protocol. So a limited contention protocol is a combination of collision based protocol, that is Aloha and CSMA/CD, and collision free protocols bitmap and binary countdown. So your limited contention protocol is a combination of Aloha and bitmap scheme. So your limited contention protocol behave like Aloha when the load is light, and limited contention protocol behave like bitmap scheme under load is high. Okay, so example for this limited contention protocol is adaptive tree walk protocol. So here adaptive tree walk protocol partitioning the group of stations and limit the contention for each slot. See here leaves of this binary tree are the stations. Here stations A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So these are the stations. So here C star, E star, F star, H star means the stations C, E, F, H have to transmit the data. Okay. So in this example, the stations C, E, F, H try to transmit the frames. Okay. So under slot 0, this one, slot 0, all stations C, E, F, H have to transmit the data. So there is a conflict here. Under slot 0, C, E, F try to send the data. So there is a conflict, that is multiple stations are trying to transmit the frame at a time. So there is a conflict. So if there is a conflict, then the tree is divided into subparts. Okay. So here this tree is divided into two parts. So first part A, B, C, D, that is first slot. Second slot E, F, G, H. So under first slot A, B, C, D. So out of A, B, C, D, only C have to send the data. See here, slot 1 only C. So C sends. There is no conflict. Next second slot E, F, H. E, F, H. Here slot 2 E, F, H. So three stations. So multiple stations. So there is a conflict. So if there is a conflict means divide the tree into two subparts. So here this right hand side once again converted into two subparts, divided into two parts, E, F one slot and H. Okay, here E, F. So conflict. So E, F two stations. So conflict means once again here E, F divided into two parts, E and F, two slots, E slot and F slot. So here slot 4 E sends and slot 5 F sends, and another part here slot 6, that is H. Slot 6 H only one, so H sends. So this is about adaptive tree walk protocol. If there are multiple stations have to send the data, the tree is divided into subparts. So this is the limited contention protocol. That is here example adaptive tree walk protocol.